Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Augustus the Animator and I have for you a tutorial on how to use the stroke tool and a little bit more ways to use trim paths for this little animated logo for a business that does not exist. Gus's Greenery. I always thought that if I just really gave up on art and design that I would just open a greenhouse and do that for the rest of my life. So now if I do that, I have a logo for it. So let's learn how to do this. Why don't we just start with making a new solid, do a nice lovely yellowish green maybe, something like that. Okay, gonna lock that. And let's just start by throwing our text on there. So I chose a font that I just thought was like fun and I don't know, approachable, friendly, whatever you want to call it. Just kind of nice. And it's also pretty thin, which is going to work really great for this tutorial. I'm going to center that because with the stroke tool it works a little bit better when your letters are very like separate and all the strokes are clearly defined versus like a thicker sort of text. So this is going to be perfect. All right, let me just maybe set up the rest of this quickly. I'm going to make the cutest tree you ever did see. Let's do, bam. Okay, let's do that. So it's just the same color as the font. I'm going to right away go down into these options, go into the stroke and make it a round cap so it kind of matches the text. So you can see it changed that. And then I wonder if I can just in this same layer do another one, another shape. So I'm going to click, hold spacebar and drag so I can move after I've already clicked. And then do a shift click to make that go straight up, drag that out, maybe go like this to make it a little bit of a curve, because I'm going to make a little tree icon. Shoot, I was hoping that that would, since it's in the same shape layer, that this would also have a round cap, but it doesn't. So we have to go into shape 2, stroke, round cap. Great. I'm going to make that actually a touch longer. Maybe curve this a little more. Great. Then I'm actually just going to duplicate this so I don't have to go into the options again and do a round cap because it takes so much time. And then we'll name this base and stem for now. This guy can be, well, first let me get rid of the first shape layer in that so we just have that skinny part. We'll do branch 1. And I realize now that a stem is not the name of a trunk of a tree because the trunk is the name of that. I'll rename that. Oh my goodness. Look at those spelling errors. Okay, so just going to use my pen tool with the letter G. Click on the end where I know that there is a vertex. Actually delete one of these because these are going to be shorter. And then just, oops, select off, select the whole thing. Move, oh my gosh, move this up. Hit the G key to grab that. Maybe just move this down. And just do a cute little branch like that. Gonna duplicate him. Select the whole thing, move him a little bit. Grab that vertex. Move him over here. And we've almost got ourselves a tree. And I'm just gonna do, I think for the leaves, just a cute little circle that I thought I could just do from that point and go up, but I couldn't. So I'm just going to do that, maybe duplicate him, move him over. Actually, I'm going to want this to be like different sizes, I think. Let me make this guy a little smaller, move him, then I'll do one more. I'm holding down Shift and Command to make it drag out from the center of where I clicked, and then Shift makes it a perfect circle. So we'll just do that. Look at that. It's like a photorealistic tree. Okay. Move this slightly. Move this guy slightly. And we're good. Okay. Let me do, always good to label, leaves 1. I'm going to hit Command and the up key just to go up to that next layer instead of having to click, because that's the great hotkey. Leaves 2. Command up. Leaves 3. Perfect. Okay. But we will first start with the text. So we have our text layer, and then we are going to just right away put a mask on it. So I'm going to click my pen tool, zoom in here a little bit, and just start making a line in the way that you would write these letters. So you're gonna, if you're making a G, you'd start here versus here, So we are just going to do that. Things that you should note is that you'll want to make sure that the line is always in the middle, or as close to the middle as you can get for these. And with this example, I think it'll work pretty easily. But you want to stay as close to the center of the stroke as you possibly can. And we're just going to continue this line to the letter U, go down here, and continue this all the way through. And so for stuff like this, when I write a U, I go like this, and then I go back down. So I first have to go up, and then if it overlaps something that's already done, that's okay. But we're just going to go like this. And so then we'll have that motion where this guy will be drawn on as well. Going to go up here to the top of the S. Go like this. I'm sure that there's a better just like convention for this pen tool because I'm clicking a lot. And the fewer the points, the better generally, but that's okay. Go up here, get this cute apostrophe, move on to greenhouse, move him up a little. Let's see, I'm actually going to go into, I'm going to, on my text layer, hit the letter M to bring up mask, and click the color of the mask and make this like, I don't even know, like a bright orange or something, just to make that so much easier to see because the light pink on the light green wasn't doing it for me. And then I just can continue like I didn't do anything. There we go. Just going to try to do this sort of quick. Hold down spacebar to move after I've clicked. That's just such, I remember learning that and it really just changed my life, which is an exaggeration, but at the same time, no, it's not. Okay, we'll go down to the R, do that, maybe go up. I'm trying to think, when I write R's, I don't have the little base on there. So I'm just going to go, click on my last point, click, do that to make that stroke happen. Click on the last point, go like this. Let's see, E's, you go like this when you write. It's weird that I haven't had to think about this in such a long time. Go down here, do that, go up here, repeat. Isn't this fun watching me draw paths? I hope this is like just the most fun for you. Because I know it sure is for me. Okay. Very close to being done, kind of. We'll go up. And you know what? Maybe this is the closest I'll ever come to owning my own greenhouse, but at least when I do, or if I do, and I need a logo like immediately, I'll have one. So it just really seems like a good use of my time. Go up here, get that base. And as you can see, I'm not being like super careful because with these letters it's going to just work really well. But all you have to do is get it pretty close, because what we're going to end up doing is essentially adding a stroke to this to to this path, and then as long as it's thick enough to cover up all parts of the letter, it's going to be just fine. So even if it's like slightly off, since these letters are so nicely spaced apart, it's just not going to matter, and so I'm not going to spend a ton of time doing that. If you have a lot like fatter letters or like scripty overlapping type letters, that will pose a little bit more of an issue. And there's no like secret to doing that. I'm going to make that line go up here. Well, I'm actually going to go like this so I can get this in one stroke. I know this is going to look kind of funny, and then we'll go down, adjust this guy, go down here. Great. Okay, look at that beautiful little wire. Okay, great. Now we can go into effects, or you can just search it because that's so much easier, and type in stroke. Oh, excuse me. And then the one we want is going to be animate text. Let's see, what is it going to be? Generate. That's what we want. We want generate stroke. So I'm going to click that. And immediately the default settings just make this white line appear, which is not at all what we want. We are first going to do under the effects controls, click down on the paint style and do reveal original image. And it's going to look a little weird because my brush size is not big enough. So if I crank that up, that's going to expand the area of effect around this path and then fill in the rest of the text. So, and you never want to go like, I don't want to crank this up. All I want to do is just enough to where it looks like everything is full. And this looks like everything is full. Because I want this to be just big enough to do this. And so that way, like, when I have this stroke here, it's not going to color part of this. We don't want that at all. And so now we have to animate the start and the end. So let me just, if I just drag back the end, you can see that it's going from right to left, going to go back to the start, which is perfect. So let's make a keyframe there, because we want it to start with nothing showing. And then we'll give it like, I don't know, we will say 3 seconds for now. It might be a little long. And just crank that all the way to 100. And then click play. Look at that, it's being written out. Ooh, no it's not. It almost is. The Y has failed me. Oh, I see. When I clicked and dragged, I did not do 100%, because that's apparently a skill that I don't have. So I'm going to hit U to bring down the keyframes that I've already adjusted. Just go to that, snap on it with Shift, and make sure that's actually 100. Perfect. Alright, let me quickly watch that again. And right here, Gus's greenery. Perfect. Okay. And you can get super in depth in terms of, it works to make me a little bit better with script, but to adjust the speed to like start slow right here, have this kind of go fast and slow on the S to really mimic someone handwriting these letters. And that's like a very fun thing that you can get into. Again, I think it works a little bit better with scripty font or font that really looks like it was handwritten. But you could really become very, very detailed with that and really bump up the animation. But for this, I'm just doing a cute little thing like that I actually want to be a touch faster. Alright, so now that I have the text animating the way that I want it to, I could use the stroke tool on the tree as well. And when I started the tutorial, I thought I was going to do that, but I think it would actually be much easier just to do some trim paths. So I'm actually going to just get all these objects out of the pre-comp because I've completely changed my mind. But you know what, it's for the best because it's just a better way to do things. Paste that above the tree, just get rid of this tree pre-comp. And just going to trim some paths until this looks great. So we're just going to do a trim paths right here. And let's see. I'm actually going to separate the base from the trunk as well. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Get rid of, on this one, the trunk. Get rid of, in this one, the base, which is going to be shape 1. Call this trunk. This guy, base. It's an interesting way to spell base. Okay. And now I have my trim paths. I'll start this maybe like here-ish or so in the timeline. Make a keyframe here, crank this to 0, make a keyframe. Go over, I'll go over like 20 frames by holding Shift, Command, and hitting the right key. And then I will crank this up to 100, and then that can stay at 0 since we're not erasing this line, it's just going to stay there. Going to click on that, hold down function and hit F9 to make that a little easy ease. So that way when it draws on, it'll be nice and smooth. And I think I can just copy this trim paths. Let's see, start it a little later, maybe right here when it would cover up that part of the trunk, and then paste it on the trunk. Bam. And then that's going to, as soon as this line gets here, that's going to go up as well. Very easy. And then once this line gets to the first branch, I'm going to click here, paste there. Going to hit Command or right key to just go forward in the timeline 1 frame. Now that it's gotten to that trunk, or branch, excuse me, going to paste that effect here. Look at that. Okay. And now our cute little tree is growing. Isn't that lovely? And I think I might actually be able to just paste that to the leaves as well, because on a circle, it's just going to trim paths. It's going to start somewhere and then just go around. It's a really good tool. I've tried animating like pie charts when I didn't know how to do that, and it's awful. So please do it this way. I'm going to go back in my timeline to right when this kind of gets to its end. So we'll say, we can probably say here, I don't know if this will work or not. Command paste to get the trim paths on there, which is great. And that's not what we want, of course. Let me just go down into this stroke. We're going to do this around cap as well, so that when it is animating on, we still have that nice round line. And let me bring this up a little. Let's see. For the trim paths, obviously we don't want it to start in the middle of the air. We want it to start from this branch, because it's growing like trees do. So what we need to do is go down into our trim paths option, and the offset is what we want. So I'm going to go so I can just see it a little, and then turn this so that it starts right there. So now it's going to grow like that. Let's see, I might even do it a touch more. Perfect. Look at that. So then the branch grows out, and we grow some leaves. Okay, let me copy this trim paths. Go to the point that I want my other leaves to grow, probably right there. Go up to leaves 2, paste that. Perfect. We need to, again, quickly go into ellipse, stroke, make that a round cap. And then trim paths, we need to offset this one again. Let's see, so it's going that direction. So we want it to be right there. I'm gonna actually move this whole guy down just a touch. So now he starts where we want him to. Perfect. Go up to the last leaf. Paste this guy. Could probably do it like 1 frame sooner. Move these over with Alt left arrow. Bring down my options for this again. Trim paths, offset, we want it to start right there probably. I'm going to move this whole shape down a little so it's a little more seamless. Do that. I forgot to make this a round cap. That changes things. Adjust the offset a little bit more. It starts right there. Oop, and that's simply incorrect. Let's watch that one more time. Great, okay. Perfect. So, look at that. That writes on, the tree grows, and we're in business. Now, let me just maybe, let's see, hit Command A, hit U again, so I just have this to look at. I'm just going to make a null, quickly go to the point where I can actually see stuff. Gonna move this here and then parent all of these guys to that null. And then when I click on the null, I can just go up to a line, make that centered. Perfect. Maybe bring him down a little. Can bring the text layer down a little. I'm gonna hit P and move it down like this so I don't click on any of my mask and screw something up. Maybe bring him down. Well, let's see. Is he centered? Sure is. Bring him down a touch. Perfect. And I might add a little, let's see, I'm just going to duplicate the branch quickly. Bring him down, turn that stroke down. Let's see, and just add like a little cute thing when this apostrophe comes in. Maybe make this nice and quick. That's not at all what we want. I'm just want like a little, I guess, secondary action for this to make it a little cuter, a little more interesting, and you know, hopefully increase my business at this fake greenhouse because it will be my livelihood. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Let me just maybe adjust this path a little to be something like that. Something cute. Make this a little faster. Maybe make it a touch thinner so it's about the same width as the text. Up one. Great. Nice. I'm just going to duplicate that. Hit G. Move that guy. And just move the whole thing, oops, with the V key a little bit. Maybe offset this, make it happen like one frame earlier. Duplicate this guy again. Move him, hit the G key, click there, do that. Let's look to see what we did. Oop. Look at that cute little. Oop. Great. Okay, and then I might just do that at the end of the Y also. Let's see, so just select these three guys. I'm not going to worry about naming them because, well, I should, but I'm not going to. Just do a little pre-comp. We'll just do Flourish or some other name. Duplicate him. And then hit the move him over. Also start him later. Where the Y happens. Move him there. Gonna hit Y to move this anchor point so I can rotate this a little more easily. Maybe just do that. And let's see. Actually, not bad timing. Great. Okay. Look at that. We've got ourselves a logo for a business that doesn't exist. Yay! Okay, maybe one day it will. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Using the stroke tool to handwrite some text on, and then using that with a combination of trim paths. They do a very similar thing, but stroke works a little bit better with text. Trim paths, again, you can do many fun things with that. I hope you learned something. If you have questions, please leave them below. If there's anything you'd like to see, again, leave a comment. I would love to make a video for the stuff that you guys want to see. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. It'd be so much appreciated, and I'll see you guys next time.